Hi everyone, I'm Amy Tyson, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 pretty important tips on how to get great feng shui in your office. Whether it's your home office or it's your work office, I want to make sure that you're getting the best energy that you possibly can with 3 pretty simple, easy to use tips to get the best feng shui. But first, I would love to know where you're watching me from today. Whether you're watching me live or you're watching the rebroadcast, leave a message in the comments as to where you're watching from right now. I'd love to know. And for those of you who have not met me, I'm Amy Tyson. I'm the owner of Infinity Life Design. I am a classically trained feng shui, destiny analysis, date selection practitioner, also known as Chinese metaphysics. I study with Dato Joey Yap and the Mastery Academy of Chinese Metaphysics in Malaysia. So I practice what is called classical feng shui. It is not the type of feng shui where I'm going to be telling you to place things like money toads or crystals or foo dogs unless you want to. Because in classical feng shui, we don't make your house look like a Chinese restaurant, because that's not good feng shui. So the tips and things I'm going to be talking to you about today need no special items placed in your office. So the 3 tips that I'm going to be giving you here today are very basic, but they're powerful and they can instantly change the way you think and the way you work in your office. Just know that these are fairly low-level tips. They're easy to apply changes, and they're not the supercharged feng shui that I normally give my clients when I consult with them personally. So if you're ready, let's get going. And again, leave me comments, because it's on that side. Which side are we? That side? That side? That side? Leave me a comment. If you have a question about any of the information that I'm sharing, please just leave the comment and I'll be sure to answer it for you, possibly at the end, because I'm going to try to go through this information all in one shot so that you can get it nice and quickly. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So here we go. So the first tip, first tip is number 1, face the door. I don't know how many times I go into an office and I see the desk facing a wall, or it's looking out the window. Not too big of a deal, most people think, but I want you to think about it this way. Whenever you watch an old-time Western, and there's always the bar scene, the bartender stands behind the bar, the bad guys come into the saloon doors, guns shooting. Who's the only one that survives? That's right, it's the bartender, because he sees it coming and ducks behind the bar, pulls out his own shotgun, and usually takes care of the bad guys. So in this picture, you can see the example where our bartender can see the entrance into the bar and she can see everything that's happening in her vicinity. So it's important to make sure that you can always see the door, no matter what office that you're working in. There's a strange phenomenon that when you have the back to the door, there's just a low-level irritation in your aura, I guess is what you can call it, and you'll never feel settled and calm. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, pay attention to your chair. What in the world does a chair have to do with feng shui? Think of a king or a leader of a country. Do they sit in a low chair with hardly any back behind them? Do they sit on a stool? No, they sit on a throne. They sit with a chair that supports their back all the way up to at least their neck or above their shoulders at the very least. This gives you a nice protected back when you're working in your office. So take a look at this picture. Obviously, you can see that this gentleman is violating the first 2 issues that I spoke about. Number 1, he's facing the wall. Number 2, look at that teeny tiny chair that he's sitting on, very low in the back. So while he may not understand it or feel it, he's not getting the best energy to him. He may leave his office feeling very tired or uninspired. Hey, Nancy. Hey, Patty. Great to have you with me today. This one's a little bit better. She has a very big chair, and she can see the door, but she's still facing a wall. And look how she's sitting tilted in her chair, obviously to pay attention to her child, but she really cannot see that door very clearly because it's around the corner. This is what we're going for. Hey, Damon, there's a shout out for you too. Here's the chair that we're going for. Nice solid chair. This individual is facing into the room. And then I want to point out another feng shui tip is make sure that you have a good wall supporting you behind you. Do we want a window behind us? Not the greatest, but it's better than not having anything behind us. All right, so go for a solid wall, high chair, facing into the office or facing so that you can see the door coming into your room. Next tip, face one of your best directions. This is one that people are like, what in the world are you talking about? This requires a compass. Each one of us is born with a life star or gua, G-U-A. And I'm showing that up on the screen. At the end of this broadcast, I will be placing this document and the next document I'm going to show you in the comments so you can find your life star or gua, G-U-A, same thing, whether you're male or female. So for example, if you find out that you are a life star 1, you will use this neck chart to figure out what your best directions are all about. So do you see the yellow line going straight across underneath between growth and frustration? The 4 above the yellow line are one of the 4 you want to face when you're sitting at your desk. The 4 below are the ones you want to do your best to avoid. So if you find out you're a life star 1, you would look at this column, or if you're a light star 6, you would look at the lighter blue column. So let's just take life star 1. Your success direction is southeast. One of your health direction is east. The one that supports your relationships is south. And the one that supports your growth is north. If you find you're a life star 6, you will see that you are west for success, northeast for health, relationships southwest, or growth northwest. So once you find out, and I see Patty is making a comment that she and Nancy are life star 4. So their best directions are north, south, east, and southeast. The 4 below the yellow line, we won't address in this video. These tips, as I said, are pretty low level, but they can instantly change how you feel and the creativity you have when you're working in your office, and they're very easy to apply. So if you have, most everyone has a smartphone. The iPhones come with a compass app. If you have an Android phone, simply go to your app store, find a compass that tells you the direction, specifically north, south, east, west. That's what compasses are for, right? Get one that has the number as well, the numbered degrees, because if you go to the more advanced levels, you will want that compass on your phone. First thing you'll do is hold it flat in your hand, about a forearm distance from your body. As you sit at your desk, number 1, know that the interference can happen from electronics that you're close to. So oftentimes you need to stand up and move away from your desk to make sure the computer doesn't interfere. And you can test it out. Set that compass in your hand about a 4 arms distance away and see what direction you're facing. If you are not facing one of your best 4 directions, simply either shift your entire desk or move your computer monitor to the direction and make sure that you can sit comfortably in that high back chair and face the direction that you move that computer. If you have questions about that, just let me know, but it is pretty simple to get yourself into the correct position. So how would you make this better feng shui? What things isn't this lady following when it comes to the tips that I just gave you? Come on, let's hear it. She's violating pretty much every single one of the things that I said. Number one, she's not facing the door. Number two, look at that low chair. Now, we don't know if she's facing a good direction or not, but she has 4 good directions. She certainly could find another one where she can face the door. Oftentimes, clients ask me when they say, I can't move my desk so I can face the door. What do I do? This came about with my sister. She was working in an office situation, and her desk was not facing the door. And so one of her employees came in and said, Miss Hathaway, I don't like feeling like I'm sneaking up on you. And so when she talked to me, I said, the easiest thing you can do is place a mirror over onto the side so that you can see the door, and that will alert you to when someone comes in. And she said it changed the entire dynamic of how she was working and how people came into her office because they knew that she could see them at that point. So yes, Patty, chair, door, and clutter. Do we care about office clutter? We do, but it's not something I talk a lot about. That's Marie Kondo's specialty. That's other feng shui people rely on removing the clutter. I'm looking at the classical level. Sometimes my office is cluttered too. It's more about clearing your mind than the clutter on your desk. But yes, it would be good for her to clean that up. So here's the thing that we see. Face the door, high back chair, support from behind, face a good direction. How about this one? This is one I see quite often, and you can see I already have it up on the screen. Someone's facing the wall. Hey, it looks great. It's very Instagrammable, nice and clean. But my goodness, sitting on a stool, move that desk away from the wall, simply flip it around into the room. You'll just walk behind it to sit down. You'll have a nice supporting wall behind you and get a higher back chair. And then make sure you're facing one of your good directions. Is there anything you'd change for better feng shui with this woman? She actually looks pretty good. She's facing away from the wall. You can see that she's got a higher back chair behind her. If she's facing one of her best directions, she's nailed it. She's done a great job. She has a smile on her face as she's working in her office. So let's look at a couple more. What about this office? This guy seems to have it all together too. He's got a high back chair, which you can see just behind his left arm. He's got a solid wall behind him. I think that's a fireplace. It's okay. Is it great? No, but it's okay. And he's got the windows to the left, and presumably he can see into the room and the door and his clients as they come in to sit in front of him. He has assumed the power position in his office, and that's what I want for you, to have the power position just like a king or queen or president would have in their office. Even if you're not in a powerful position in your company, you still want to have the power position in your office. So is that all there is to feng shui? Nope, there's not. It's not. In fact, when I work with my clients and when I teach my feng shui classes, it all comes down to the location that your office is located in your house. So in this diagram right here, you can see this is a floor plan, and this is what we would do, is we'd look at your floor plan, figure out if your office is located in the correct location for best success. This is super important, and it honestly takes precedence over everything that I just talked about. It is super important to make sure your office is in a great location. If we can't get it there, then everything that we can do will make a tremendous difference. So we take a look at your floor plan. Then what we do is we square off that floor plan, find the center of your house. By standing in the middle, we use that compass again, and we take a look at exactly where your office is. Now, this feng shui can change every single year. So if you've been feeling really uncomfortable or a little bit fearful or have some anxiety this year, especially if you're working in your office a lot, it could be that your office is located in what we call the fear door. In fact, the fear door this year is in the Northeast. So if you find out that your office is in the Northeast in your house, you could be a little bit more fearful about the things that are going on around you this year. And you may want to consider moving your office out. But this is what we do at the higher level of Feng Shui. And then remember those 8 directions that you're going to find out? I actually break those down into 24. So we get even more specific to make sure you're facing a great direction. So if you liked this quick webinar, again, these tips were very powerful and very useful, and I will be putting below the documents that you need to find out your life star and your directions. If you liked this, I have a 3-part webinar series coming up starting this Sunday night. And on Sunday evening, we're going to be talking about Do More Than Survive, Let's Thrive. We'll be talking about the potential winners and losers as far as the industries are concerned in 2020. We're going to be talking about the Feng Shui right now for you to get what you want. So I talked about the Northeast having the fear door. Well, where should you have your office? It depends on what you want. If you want more business, if you want to start a business, if you want to keep your job, if you want to get promoted, if you want money, there's different locations in your home that you can put your office, and we'll be talking about that on Sunday evening. We're going to be talking about COVID-19, and if there's another wave coming, the answer is yes. And I want you to be prepared for when it is coming. And then the 7 shifts that everyone needs to be thinking about for turbulent times. So that's this Sunday night. The second is going to be May 27th. I believe that is Wednesday. And these are the must-haves for 2020. What do you have to have in your life for 2020? We'll be talking about health. This webinar is focused on health. Who's at most risk for illness? You'll get your own personal chart, and we'll be talking about how you can see your challenges when it comes to health and wellness overall, not just this year, but overall, and what you can do this year to make sure that you stay on the healthy side of your life. And that's Wednesday on the 27th. That's part 2. The third webinar will be Sunday, May 31st. And this one is about rising up. What do you need to do to rise up and succeed in 2020? What are the new life themes? How can you be ready for the new economy? Because guys, we're never going to go back to the way it was. Technology is going to be taking off, and it's going to be a new economy out there. What 4 animal signs in your destiny chart are going to need to pivot this year, and in what direction ought they be thinking about pivoting? And then we just talked about this one, which area of your house can make you more fearful and why, and what to do about it if it happens to be your bedroom or your office or a room you use a lot. If you are interested in any of those webinars, they can each be purchased separately. The top 3 are the individual websites. Thrive in 2020.eventbrite.com is webinar 1. Howsyourhealth.eventbrite.com is webinar 2. Rise and Go Do It.eventbrite.com is webinar 3. Or if you want all 3 webinars on demand, you can watch them live. Once they're recorded, they will be on demand. Head over to infinitylifedesign.teachable.com. Use the code SPECIAL2020. You'll be purchasing the 2020 Summit, where I talk all about 2020, and you'll get access to all 3 of these recorded webinars, even when they're live. So again, infinitylifedesign.teachable.com, code SPECIAL2020. It's a $240 value for you guys watching. All of that is just $69. So I would certainly love you all to like and follow me on Facebook/Infinity Life Design. I'd love for you to like and share this video with someone, and even take someone that you think would like to see this video. And if you are interested in participating in those 3 webinars because you liked what I talked about today, you can go to infinitylifedesign.teachable.com and use that special code 2020. I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. Again, I'll be placing the documents below that will give you your life star chart and the information for your best directions. And what I'd really like now is for you to comment about what you'd like me to talk about in future broadcasts. So leave a comment, tell me what you'd like me to cover in the future, and I will be sure to do so. And I really appreciate you all tuning in today, and thanks for watching. Bye now.